to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're at the DAZN Misfits card. I'm joined by a very dapper looking Peter McDONAGH. Peter, I know we spoke in the week about why you're involved, if you've got Tempo Arts, etc. But yeah, I didn't really expect to see you in this world ever, if I'm being totally honest.
Well, I'll tell you what, IFL's a boxing channel, innit? I didn't expect to see you in this world neither. But it's entertainment, innit? And I was definitely in entertainment while I was fighting, and I enjoy it, really. I'll be honest with you, I enjoy this sort of entertainment.
What do you think about this scene?
Well, I think they've got their own lane, haven't they? You know, there's 3 lanes in boxing. You've got the amateurs, well, you've got the misfitters, you've got the amateurs, and you've got the professionals. So, long as they don't try and cross over to professional boxing, I think it's definitely got a future. I mean, the promoters don't need to give the fighters tickets to sell. The fighters sell the tickets just on the back of their social media. So they end up with real platforms. I want to see professional fighters start building platforms like these misfitters, you know?
I mean, people were saying a similar thing in Saudi Arabia. Obviously, we had Jake and Tommy Fury, which has reportedly done 750,000 buys, pay-per-view buys, last weekend. And obviously, that was because of their platforms, Jake Paul's and Tommy Fury. So if you were advising any young professional fighters who are looking to go the traditional route in boxing, would it be obviously focus on your career, what happens in the ring, your diet, your nutrition, etc. But as part of that, also focus on your social media and your platform?
100%, you've got to focus on that. But I'm going to pull you back there as well. Jake Paul, Tommy Fury. Right, why did that do so well as well? Yeah, they have got big platforms. Why did it do so well? That was 2 fighters at the same level. How many times do I have to say this to people? What's happening in boxing at the moment, whether it's trainers, managers, or the promotions, I don't know who is doing it. We're getting a thoroughbred going in with a donkey. People are not interested in seeing that. If we get 50-50 fights, Eubank versus Smith, fights like that, places sell out and we get decent pay-per-views or we get decent numbers. But the problem is, when you go further down the card, we get donkeys in with thoroughbreds, and for me they're just getting slaughtered, so it's not good for boxing. Simple thing to do with boxing for me is all these non-TV shows use these fighters as opponents, because some of these fighters will beat these TV fighters. So let's forget the O. It don't mean nothing. O's don't mean nothing anymore. I think people should lose fights, come back, and it makes it more entertaining, because everyone sees these records 30-0 and all that, and Mayweather started them off the records. I mean, he is a great, I'm not taking it away from him, but he started that unbeaten record off, and for me, we want to go to shows and we think this is 50-50. And let's be honest here, when you come to these misfit shows, we don't know too much about them, but we still look at them and think, I wonder what way this is going to go. And people are surprised. As you see tonight, people didn't think Tempo Arts was going to get Godson out there in 1 round, but he went in, done the job, and you know, and we see upsets all the time on these cards.
Peter, do you think boxing, specifically if you like British boxing, has gone downhill recently?
100% it's gone downhill. We had a chat about this earlier, about the Conor BENN situation. Is it a right thing that the board have banned him for taking drugs? 100%. If he has taken drugs. I don't know, allegedly taking drugs or whatever he's saying. He's got, you know, new things out to say that he weren't on drugs. But the problem is, I retired 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Nah, there ain't been a star come through since I retired. The Furies, the Joshuas, they was all there at that point. The only star that had come, in my opinion, has come through and got to the level what anyone's got to is Conor BENN. Eubank was around when I was boxing. So for me, are the Adam Azeems, which I think is a real good fighter, are they at that level? Are they at that stardom? I don't think they are.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like when I first come into this job, I remember, you know, you had Carl Froch, George Groves, James DeGale, Amir Khan, Kell Brook, obviously Tyson Anthony still going, but you had these guys who were, you know, massive names, and they all, you know, we were thriving in British boxing. It was incredible. Do you think the fact that now we've got more TV broadcasters, more promoters, it's actually diluted it across the board?
Boxing's 100% diluted, and like we say, you know, listen, what fight do we want to see for Tyson Fury next? We all want to see Alexander Usyk. Do we want to see Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury? Well, I don't, because Alexander Usyk's beat him twice. So surely it's winner stays on. Yeah, and again, you know, it's good from a promotional point of view, making Joshua and Tyson. But for me, I think it's a no-brainer that you make Usyk versus Tyson. You know, Eubank versus Smith. I think it's a worthy rematch. I think you will get a better fight in the second fight, in my opinion. But we are clutching on the straws here of what fights we can make. You know, at what fights, you know, it's true, isn't it? We're clutching on the straws. And for me, what happens with these misfit cards, you've now been to a few yourself, at 7 o'clock at night, everyone's sitting in their chairs, and they sit there till 11 o'clock at night. Guess what? We get a great British title fight on a O2 show or something. Don't even get, I don't know, 500 people watch it, and they come in for the main event. So for me, this is definitely built it's a different audience, but it's built a more loyal audience. It's built like a football audience, this, in my opinion. They're young, but it's built a football audience.
Do you think outlets such as ours, Boxing Channel, should be covering this? I get both sides of the arguments. One is, you shouldn't be covering this. This is not real boxing. The other side is, well, people like yourself, Kalle Sauerland's putting on these shows. We can't not interview Kalle Sauerland. There's people within boxing who turn up here. So if we didn't cover it, another channel might get it. But do you think us guys should be covering this?
I'll tell you what to do. You got to say to your viewers, is say, well, you're going to pay for our bills then. And I'm being honest. And at the end of the day, you're a media channel. And this is where it's at the moment. This is where it's at, and that's the truth of it. You know, you can end up getting bigger views off one of these videos than what you could get off all your videos. And I'll tell you what I will say. The biggest fight of all time, I think, is Mayweather versus Pacquiao, pay-per-views. I'm telling you now, Jake Paul versus KSI will blow that out of the water. Blow it out of the water.
Bigger than Mayweather Pacquiao?
100%, 100%. They've got bigger followings, in my opinion. Listen, you don't go and get a bottle of Prime, which is £2, and they're going in shops for 20 quid. Do you know what I mean? They've got, honestly, it's a totally different audience, 100%. But for me, I believe that will be the biggest pay-per-view fight if that happens. And I'm hearing December the 17th in Cardiff with the roof on.
Wow, okay. Peter, do you just want to give your YouTube channel a quick shout out before we close off?
Yeah, I've got Voice from the Corner, just letting it blend away at the moment. I'm busy at the moment working with Archie Sharp. He's got a fight coming up. Date's not 100% certain yet, but he's got a fight coming up. I'm really enjoying it, you know, overseeing things and that, really enjoying it, you know. And again, I'm having a bit of fun with this Misfit stuff as well, and just advising Tempo Arts, trying to build his brand. Like I said, he's got a great story. So I am busy, and my book's coming out in September. I've just signed a publishing deal, so again, a little plug for my book there. So yeah, like I say, why shouldn't he do these shows? If you ain't got a boxing show on, I mean, I'm not being funny. If it was Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk and you was here instead of there, then I'll be asking questions. But you're not busy, you ain't got much on, so why not come and support these shows? And why these kids are still trying to do something. And what I think is good, I look with a lot of these kids, they're getting away from behind that computer and they're going in gyms and they're getting fit. So it's definitely doing something for boxing and fitness in general.
Peter, thank you very much for your time all week, and hopefully we'll have a catch up soon, all right, top man?
Defo, mate, nice one, thanks.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.